Two suburbs you guys keep asking me about are Perkasie, Pennsylvania and Doylestown, Pennsylvania. In this video, I'm going to break down the comparison between Doylestown and my hometown of Perkasie in terms of cost of living, housing market, things to do, and more. Hey, my name is Doug Bair, the Philly Suburb Realtor. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know what it's like to live, work, eat, sleep, and play right here in the suburbs of Philly, PA, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that bell icon so you're notified every time I drop new videos each week. And if you are looking to buy, sell, invest anywhere in the Philadelphia area from the city up to Lehigh Valley, make sure you reach out to me, call, text, email, however you'd like to get a hold of me, or go ahead and check the link in the description to schedule your Zoom consultation directly on my calendar. Let's get into the comparison of Perkasie and Doylestown. All right, so we are going to start with the overall comparison of Doylestown and Perkasie, Pennsylvania. So if you look right at the top here, the median age in Doylestown is about 10 years older than Perkasie's. You can check right here. Doylestown housing costs are about 17% more expensive than Perkasie housing costs. I'm going to show later on, I'm going to show the market stats for January and February, what happened in the real estate market in each, the Doylestown borough and Perkasie borough. So stick around for that and see, more exact sales price, what homes have been selling for on average in each town. So things to do in Perkasie and in Doylestown. So I currently live in Perkasie. I can tell you it's very walkable. Doylestown is also walkable. A lot of things to do in both areas, kind of different things to do. I would say there's more walking trails, specifically trails in town in Perkasie than there is in Doylestown. You can walk around the town in Doylestown, but as far as trails go, there is one trail in Perkasie that goes through like the entire town. There's also, in both towns, there are some restaurants in town. There are some shops. I know Perkasie shuts down, Market Street area to do First Fridays, where they have vendors line the streets. And then also the farmers markets on Saturday mornings, in the nicer months. So that's something to keep in mind too. And then, Doylestown, they have, actually both towns have a car show. There's the Doylestown car show and there's the Under the Stars car show in Perkasie. So a lot of events throughout the year, a lot of things to do. There's playgrounds in both. There's Menlo Park in Perkasie, and then there's the Kids Castle Park in Doylestown. So if you have kids, both areas are great. I mean, I have 3 young kids myself, so I'm always looking for the playgrounds. Both of them have plenty of playgrounds throughout the town. So if that's something important to you, both of them have that, things to do. All right, so next let's go over the general cost of living. So if you look at the overall, they're about the same. Neither of them are cheap to live in comparison to the United States. They're both above the average. I do know Doylestown, especially if we're comparing the boroughs, and you'll see this in the housing market comparison for the boroughs, but Doylestown borough is definitely more expensive in terms of housing costs than it is in Perkasie. Not that Perkasie's cheap, but Doylestown definitely is far and above that in housing. And you can see that right here. So we'll start up here for food and groceries, 107.5% versus 110.5%, compared to, the 100% would be the average of the United States. So they're both above the average there. Health, they're actually both slightly below. Both of them are 98.7. Housing, and here's the difference I was talking about. In Perkasie, you're at 135.1%, and in Doylestown, you're 170.5% compared to the rest of the United States. The median home cost, so this is the middle. This is not the average, but the median home cost in Perkasie is $422,500, and in Doylestown is $494,200. And transportation, pretty similar, just about a 3% difference here. And then miscellaneous, basically the same, about 0.5% difference there as well. So if we look at the economy breakdown here, so you can look at the unemployment rate, 6.1%, which is basically on par for the national average, about 6% unemployment rate. Future job growth, they're both at 28.4%, so they're right neck and neck there. Sales tax are both 6% there. Income tax Perkasie does have a 0.5% higher income tax than Doylestown. Doylestown is 4.1%, and Perkasie is 4.6%. Income per capita. Income per capita in Perkasie is $43,619 versus Doylestown is $55,262. Household income is basically the same right here, and then family median income, again, that's not the average, but the middle of the income in each area. Perkasie is $108,227 versus $131,000, basically $132,000 in Doylestown. Both well above the national average. So if you come down here, population by occupation. If I were to describe both towns, I would say Perkasie is a little bit more blue collar, definitely more blue collar than Doylestown. Doylestown, I mean, there's blue collar, white collar in both, but Doylestown is typically more white collar, and and Perkasie is a little bit more blue collar. You can see that right at the top here too. Business management and finance. 16.9% population are in that occupation in Perkasie, and 25%, 25.1% Doylestown. If you look at the education, I'm gonna just highlight the popular ones that you guys are looking for when I'm talking to you when you reach out. Education, 10%. Doylestown, 10.2%. So pretty even there as far as education goes. And then the other difference. There's a couple differences here. So there's sales, office, administration support, 21%, 21.3% in Perkasie, 24.4% here in Doylestown. And production, transportation, material moving, and this is again why the blue collar and the white collar difference that I was mentioning earlier. 18.6% in Perkasie and 3.5% in Doylestown. So the biggest difference in that occupation category. All right, so now we're going to go over education, Doylestown versus Perkasie. Perkasie is in Penridge School District. Doylestown is Central Bucks East or CB East School District. So if you look down here, you can see the expense per student about pretty much the same. If you look at down here, you can check the high school graduation percentage, graduation rate. So 95.3% graduate from Penridge, 97.4% graduate from CB East, and in the United States is 88.9%. So both above the average. You'll notice that in a lot of the Philadelphia suburb school districts. A lot of them are very, very good. Pennsylvania in general is very good, but especially East Coast here. And these two are definitely no exception. They're both very good. I do have to give a shout out to, I'm a big hockey fan, and Penridge boys just won their second state title in ice hockey in the last 3 years. So they won 3 years ago, and then they just won, I think it was just a couple weeks ago. They won the state title again. So if you're looking for good hockey, definitely go to check out Penridge, because they figured out what they're doing. They won the state championships 2 out of the last 3 years. So super excited for that. You could also check out here 4-year grad. So again, going back to the blue collar versus white collar, the comment that I mentioned earlier, a lot less Penridge graduates are going to go for a 4-year college degree than in Doylestown in CB East. So 59.2% from Doylestown go on to get a 4-year graduate degree, and a 40.6% in Penridge School District when they go off to college. 40.6% of them go on to a 4-year degree. Master's degree, Perkasie is at 11.9%, and Doylestown is 18.5%. And then go down to the doctorate, there's 1.5% go on to doctorate from Perkasie, and in Doylestown 3.1%. Both are at, Perkasie's at the average for the United States, and Doylestown doubles the average for the United States in terms of who goes to go on to get their doctorate from graduating from the school district. So now we're going to talk about the big difference in the housing cost. So this is directly from the mobile listing service that has all the data, all the stats here. So if you look at right here, the average sold price. Now this takes into consideration, you can see up here, January and February of 2024. It is toward the end of March here, so we don't have March stats yet, but I will be doing a market update. If you want that video link, make sure you drop a comment below, and as soon as it's released, I will give it to you. Just comment market update and I will give it to you. So again, if you look at the average sold price here is $555,000, $726,000. This is just in the borough. So this is Doylestown borough, and the next one will be Perkasie borough. But in the borough, this is the pricing that you can expect to see if you look at the recently sold in the last January and February months. And if we go over to Perkasie, you can see the big difference here. It was $555,000 in Doylestown borough, and in Perkasie borough is $385,000, about $386,000. So definitely a big difference there. And again, this is for January and February of 2024. So that's the basic breakdown of market stats on average sold price in the housing market for each borough. And if you want more detailed information, just make sure you reach out. I'm happy to help answer any questions you have. So that's the general breakdown and the difference between Doylestown and Perkasie. I'm just curious which one resonates more with you. What are the pros and cons that you see from each one? If you've been to each one, let me know your thoughts in the comments on how you like it or don't like it and why. Definitely helps out anybody that's considering relocating to either of these two towns. It helps them with their decision immensely. Again, my name is Doug Bair, the Philly Suburb Realtor. If you are looking to buy, sell, invest anywhere from the city up to Lehigh Valley, make sure you reach out, call, text, email, or schedule a Zoom consultation. If you found value in this video, please subscribe, give it a like, share it to someone who you think might find value in it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.